What?
What's up with my woods people? We're doing an element eval, and today it is camera arm battle. The two arms we've got here are two that we've used in the field. I have a lot of experience here with this Muddy Outfitter camera arm, and this year we have a ton of experience with the Fourth Arrow carbon arm. So we've got two different bases here. KC, tell us the bad, brother.
The bad, okay, we've got two different bases to choose from. You've got the standard base, and then you've got the run and gun base,
Holy
which
smokes.
really should be called run the deer off base, okay? Like, it's a great idea. It works. There's some cool things about it, but there's also some really bad. The first being metal clangy things.
Metal clangy
All
things.
right? These are the things that your carabiners clip into to wrap around the tree. I like it, but I don't like it because there's no way you're clipping these things on and getting this thing stuck on the tree without making a bunch of racket. The other thing is this base right here is a lot heavier than their standard base, okay? Tyler made me carry this one around all year. He carried this one around all year.
Look at those guns.
Look at the difference.
Look at those guns.
My legs are small.
You got them swift legs.
But
speaking of hanging the bracket on the tree, this right here, this is a lot easier to hang on the tree than either one of these, I feel like. So what you've got is a little knob here, and same kind of system. You got the ratchet strap, but on the end you got two loops, and you loop one over, you throw it around, you loop it on, and it stays there until you tighten it. It's really, you know, if it's somewhat tight, it's going to stay there and it's going to be solid enough that you can ratchet it down and you don't have to have three arms. I mean, three human arms.
because you got two arms here.
That's correctly right. Another bad thing about the Muddy Outfitter arm, or just the Muddy brackets, I guess, is that they don't have a whole lot of adjustability. You've got basically this spinny thingy that allows it to go up and down. So this is the swivel point right here, and it can go, once you get it stuck on a tree, if you've got it tilted up like that, you've got to just work this thing all the way down until it's level, or up if you're, you know, that way. But when and then on your left and right, you've got this as an adjustment. So I mean, your left and right you can do quite a bit with, but your up and down, it's limited in its adjustability.
Possibly the coolest thing about the Fourth Arrow carbon arm with the run and gun base is how adjustable this thing is. You can see I've got it mounted on a very crooked tree right now. It only takes a few seconds to get your arm in place, loosen the shoulder, adjust for level, and retighten. And you can mount your arm on pretty much any tree. The Fourth Arrow base is pretty adjustable, but to adjust it, you have this little wannabe screwdriver thing, all right, that clanks around, makes a lot of noise, hangs off of here. It's also pretty hard to get this thing into the right spot to loosen or tighten this doodad. Something that I noticed too on the running gun base, it has a longer one. Easier, right? No, not so much, because it's still really hard to maneuver, and it bent.
Yeah.
It bent. So now it's even hard to even get it in there to find the spot because it ain't going straight.
We also have a buddy that used one and broke it off. So, and he's not a very strong guy, okay? So no offense if he's listening.
Something else that I noticed on the Fourth Arrow shoulder is that throughout the season, the thing that holds the shoulder in the base right here on the bottom would come loose. And your shoulder, if you weren't watching, would be loose or could even slip out of there. All right, so I just had to continually tighten that. It might need a lock washer or something like that underneath.
The Muddy's a lot more affordable at $139. With the carbon arm and this bracket right here, you're looking at $199, and you're adding $10 for the run and gun bracket.
And now for the weights. The Fourth Arrow carbon arm by itself weighs 1.1 pounds. Together with this shoulder and base, it's 4.5, and then you add another ½ pound for the run and gun base, putting it at a solid 5 pounds altogether. The carbon arm itself, at full extension, is rated to hold 7 pounds of weight.
This right here, along with the arm, also weighs 4.5 pounds. So you're looking at a very exact match of weight in this and the carbon arm. the arm actually holds 10 pounds. So that's a big time improvement over the Fourth Arrow carbon arm. Now where you lose out here is that this bracket right here is much harder to pack into the woods. What I've always done is strap it around here and it kind of flops quite a bit. I'm sure you could find a way to bungee it a little more tightly. But yeah, at 4.5 pounds, it's still pretty heavy to pack on the side of your bag and have flopping all over the place.
The great thing about the Fourth Arrow shoulder and base is that A, they're two separate pieces. If you wanted to, you could take them apart and really pack them away nicely. As it is, it still packs pretty good when it's all said and done and wrapped up, okay? That and the arm together can go in your backpack and still have plenty of room for your layers or your snacks or your drinks or whatever you're bringing to the stand with you. Packs really well. Another thing that I really like about the Fourth Arrow base in particular is that it has a handy dandy backpack or whatever you got in the stand hook.
Gear hook.
Gear hook that goes in the bottom of it. I know that sounds trivial, right? Like, okay, big deal. The Muddy doesn't have it. And I use this every time we're in the stand. Every time my pack or rattling antlers or a grunt call or something goes on this hook. Yep. It's a big deal. It's great when you're on these public land hunts and you can't screw things in the trees. So you really need something to be able to hang things on.
True. One thing I love about this Muddy arm is it is solid as a rock. You can put this thing up against a tree and tighten it down, and I mean it'll lock in there solid. It's built, you know, like a triangle, which that's one of the strongest types of geometry. The arm holds 10 pounds, like I said earlier. So if you're self-filming, you'll never need another camera arm, that's for sure.
The Fourth Arrow arm is pretty solid too, okay? The base is very solid, but there's a couple tricks to it. You really need to make sure that these straps are pushed all the way up to the center mass of where this shoulder and base attach to the tree. That way, when it ratchets around, it's pulling directly back on it. The running gun base kind of solves that issue with these little clippies, okay? The things we talked about that run the deer off earlier, if you're quiet enough with them and careful with it and really understand that, hey, this could be noisy, but I'm not going to let it, all right? You can snap these things on. They self-adjust right where they need to be to hold directly across from the shoulder and the arm that extends out from it.
Another great thing about the Fourth Arrow is that you can fly fish with this thing, actually. So, you know, obviously you're double hauling and you can make it out there pretty far.
Yeah, this is actually for hunting out of giant sequoias. You know, you need a long old rope to get around the tree.
Yes, redwood forest or great blacktail country. You really can't go wrong either way. This is the cheaper arm for sure, but the adjustability lacks, like I said earlier. If you're running gun, hunting public land, you don't know what tree you're going to be set up in from time to time, this adjustability of the Fourth Arrow is second to none. Now, if you're hunting a field edge or a corner and you got your stand, it's been sitting there for 10 years, and you've got a straight up and down tree for the most part, this is a great option for you, and it's a little less expensive. So either way, just make sure you read the specs or you listen to this review and take what you can from it and choose wisely.